Astra Lost in Space is a Japanese science fiction manga series turned animated television series written and illustrated by Kenta Shinohara. Serialized online in May of 2016 on Shueisha Inc.'s Shonen Jump Plus website/app, the Astra series was first adapted into an anime by the Japanese animation studio Lurch.
Dangerous, are they?
Well, it's hard to be sure at the moment. That tickles, Giuliano!
Written and illustrated by Kenta Shinohara, the Astra series was first published online in 2016 as a digital manga in the online magazine that is Shonen Jump Plus. Launched for online distribution in May of 2016 through Shueisha Inc., a Japanese company headquartered in Tokyo, Japan, online magazine/manga distributor, Shonen Jump Plus, the Astra series is Kenta Shinohara's most recent work and one he devoted an Olympian amount of effort into. Running from May of 2016 to December of 2017, Astra was intentionally written to be part of a more traditional manga anthology magazine, Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump. Revealed in an interview conducted by Comic Natalie from 2019 that, like any ambitious mangaka, the Japanese term for a manga artist, he originally pitched the idea to the editorial department of Shueisha Inc.'s Weekly Shonen Jump with the basic foundations of the Astra story, hoping to hear that they would not only take on his project for publication, but give him resources to help complete it. He was instead hit with a hard no from the department's board. Instead of dropping the project he had invested a significant amount of time and money into in favor of one that could be accepted by Weekly Shonen Jump, Shinohara remembered that Jump Plus had just started and was in need of new works to publish on their site. Since the work was planned from the start to be relatively short, Astra was accepted to be part of Jump Plus, with the deal being that significant changes to mainly characters had to be made. The first episode, otherwise more commonly referred to as a chapter, had been changed drastically, with the primary character of the series, Kanata, having gone from a brooding and dark character to an energetic and bright leader. Before writing Astra, Shinohara was supposedly in the middle of creating a battle manga series that was far more action-oriented than Astra, but still kept the overarching mystery that drives the plot forward. Although being a one-year project, which he had put a notable amount of his own money and time into, the project was scrapped because Shinohara felt that the enemies of the story did not feel like they belonged in the world of the story, and the setting felt confusing and was difficult to orchestrate fight scenes in. Although stating during his acceptance speech during the 2019 Manga Awards that he had become severely depressed after canning the project, this nameless battle manga series acted as the rough skeleton of what would eventually be Astra Lost in Space.
Biology. Good looking, a great cook. Wow, I kinda hate how perfect I just made him sound.
I finished with ship maintenance.
Besides the award-winning short manga series, the world and characters of Kenta Shinohara's Astra Lost in Space was first adapted into an anime on July 3rd of 2019. Produced by Lurch, the animation brand of the Japanese animation studio Studio Hibari, the anime adaptation ran from July 3rd of 2019 to September 18th of 2019 for a total of 12 episodes. Although being announced to the public on February 5th of 2019 through both a tweet on the official Twitter account and the official website, which opened the day of, Shinohara revealed in a joint interview with the anime adaptation's director Masanomi Ando by Natalie that he was actually approached/received news about Astra Lost in Space anime adaptation in the middle of the manga serialization in Jump Plus, specifically around the time when the crew of Astra visited the third planet on their star-hopping journey. This lengthy separation between the start of production and its announcement was supposedly due to how hard Astra is apparently to adapt into anime. According to the same interview by Natalie, Masanomi Ando proclaimed that the original authors, Kento Shinohara, use of information-packed pages with significantly dense dialogue is what made Astra particularly hard to adapt. When deciding what to cut and what to keep, Ando also professed in an interview that he was constantly referring to the original manga as he wrote the screenplay, fearing that he may either remove integral parts of the story or run out of time to tell it. Even with the first episode's special 1-hour runtime, Ando felt like he barely had enough time to start the story in a good place with the anime's 12-episode runtime in mind. The series' peculiar depth of information and such a relatively short length, roughly 50 chapters, can arguably be attributed to not only how the series went initially planned, originally for Weekly Shonen Jump, but the constant fear of cancellation during its serialization due to it being published through a service that had less reach than Shinohara's original goal of Weekly Shonen Jump. All of which resulted in the anime becoming a highly streamlined mystery science fiction story that wastes absolutely no time in playing on its narrative. Besides the narrative flow of the series' story, there were a few difficulties in translating the original illustrations to animation, something which is supremely common in the process of adapting any written work to animation or film. In the same interview from Natalie, Masanumi Ando recounted that it took the animation team around 1 year to properly rework the mechanical design shown in the original illustrations of the manga by Kento Shinohara to work for 3D animation, with the Astra spaceship and the crew's retractable helmets being two of the most difficult designs. The production of the anime adaptation wasn't all bad though. For Masanumi Ando, working on Astra was a dream come true as a director. Having first gotten into anime through Hajiyama Yatate's and Yoshiyuki Tomino's Gundam series, a Japanese military science fiction media franchise, he'd always wanted to try his hands at a science fiction show. Both the challenging and interesting aspects of the anime adaptation's production had highly excited Ando, and when directing the series he professed during the Natalie interview that he had watched Christopher Nolan's 2014 film Interstellar, an American-British science fiction film, countless times for inspiration. An inspiration which can be felt in full during the climax of the first episode.
Grow the thickest around these pole-shaped trees.
It's kind of stinky.
Something reeks.
It's not me. I just showered.
She's right.
The story itself has a rather simple yet equally engaging premise. Set in the distant future, Kento Shinohara's Astra takes place in a sci-fi enthusiast's wet dream where planetary space travel is not only possible but commercially viable. In this story, we follow a group of students from Carrot High School that depart by spaceship to the nearby planet of McPaw for the planetary camp, a 5-day planetary camping excursion with select students from the high school, only for everything to go upside down when they arrive. The group of students we follow in Shinohara's Astra Lost In Space consist of Aries Spring, voiced by Inori Minase in the Japanese VA of the anime and Megan Shipman in the English VA. Aries is a very cheerful and optimistic girl. Although having moments of forgetfulness in regard to spatial awareness, she possesses an eidetic memory, more commonly known as a photographic memory, which enables her to memorize practically anything she sees instantly. Besides having pink hair and photographic memory, Aries also has complete heterochromia, the term used to describe a person's eye color when they have two different colored eyes, with one eye being yellow and the other eye being green. Like practically everything in the series, her name has a double meaning. Aries is a reference to the Aries constellation. However, ironically, her birthday of April 20th is exactly 1 day after its duration in terms of zodiac signs, which ends up making her a Taurus. Kanata Hosojima, voiced by Yoshimasa Hosoya in the Japanese VA of the anime and Josh Grell in the English VA, Kanata is a steadfast and deeply driven person who exudes confidence whether or not he himself feels confident, making him a reliable leader. Although having an incredibly athletic physique gained through rigorous training, Kanata's true goal does not lie in the world of athleticism, but instead he wishes to travel the stars as captain of his own team. Originally designed by Shinohara to be a brooding and dark character, Kanata is instead a highly energetic character who acts as the group's leader. Charles Lecroix, voiced by Nobunaga Shimazaki in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Jason Liebrick in the English VA, Charles is a charming and excitable person. Having significant knowledge of bioscience and biological sciences, ecology, biochemistry, genetics, zoology, botany, etc., Charles is quick to become friends with the aliens the crew discover on their journey. Using this knowledge and his interest in cooking, he also acts as the crew's chef. Born in a more medieval and European-esque society, Charles is unique in comparison to those of the other crew members. Last name Lacroix is French for the cross. Luca Esposito, voiced by Rize Matsuda in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Sharon Strange in the English VA, Luca is an artistic person by nature and greatly enjoys making things by hand. Serving as the group's craftsman/engineer, Luca crafts several gadgets for various crew members on their journey home that either help them out of difficult situations or aid in boosting the crew's morale. Ulger's Wake, voiced by Koki Uchiyama in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Christopher Dontrell Piper in the English VA, Ulger is a closed and independent person who generally adheres to the philosophy of pulling one's own weight and often refuses to help the other crew members with chores or activities that he deems unimportant to himself. Much as for the personality initially intended to be part of Kanada's character could be argued to have been used for Olger. Zack Walker, voiced by Shunsuke Takeuchi in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Aaron Roberts in the English VA, Zack is a very intelligent and serious person with an IQ of 200 who tends to prioritize logic above everything else. As the only member with a pilot's license, he acts as not only the pilot of the spaceship, but as its mechanic and lab technician, he uses the equipment in the ship's lab to perform various tests. Kiichiri Raffaelli, voiced by Tomoyo Kurosawa in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Sakiiwa Ba in the English VA, Kiichiri is a closed and independent person, like Olger, but has a tendency to act authoritatively, seemingly to assert herself as better than the others. With her broad medical knowledge and limited training, she was also taught by her mother, and acts as the crew's doctor. Funichi Raffaelli, voiced by Hina Kino in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Danny Chambers in the English VA, Funichi is the nice and polite younger sister of Kiichiri who shows kindness to the other members of the crew regardless of their coldness towards her, like her older sister in Olger. Often holding back her true emotions and feelings, she uses a hand puppet based on a character from a show she likes named Bigo, which voices her inner thoughts for her in the voice of a foul-mouthed old man. Yoon Hao Lu, voiced by Sayori Hayami in the Japanese VA of the anime and by Dawn M. Bennett in the English VA, Yoon is a very shy and generally quiet person who, after being frequently told by her mother at a very young age to never stand out, attempts to make herself as unobtrusive as possible. Although having a very low self-esteem at first, over the course of the series, she slowly opens up to the rest of the crew, gaining more confidence in herself.
It's strange. You'd think a space anime would show the beautiful nature of...
I caught a fish!
And I caught a fish!
Yeah, well, my fish is a lot bigger!
While the series is arguably less popular than other anime of the same sci-fi genre, like Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy, and Evangelion, Kenta Shinohara's Astra Lost in Space has its own fair share of awards. In the 2019 edition of Takaraji Masha's, a Japanese publishing company based in Chiyoda, Tokyo, Kono Manga ga Sugoi, translated in English as This Manga is Amazing, guidebook, Astra ranked third in their top 20 list of manga for male readers, with Masakazu Ishiguro's Heavenly Delusion taking first place. Additionally, the manga also won the 12th Manga Taisho Award, an annual Japanese manga award, in 2019 against 12 other manga series. The anime did not shy away from receiving its own awards. At the 51st Seiyun Award, a Japanese speculative fiction award for the best science fiction works and achievements during the preceding year, at the 59th Nihon SF Taiki, an annual science fiction convention held in Japan.
Any of these things at all. As far as I'm concerned, split.
We're clearly being lied to. I'm gonna become a journalist. Then I can uncover the truth about everything.
If you want to watch the show in its entirety for yourself, as well as read/watch the additional content related to the series, you can find links to everything mentioned in both the description and pinned comment below. Thank you for watching. My name is Ivory, and if you want to know more about me, check out my Twitter at ivor_y. If you enjoyed this video and like to not only see them continue but improve in quality, consider subscribing and or supporting us on Patreon. Links in the description below.
Anyway,